So I figured I'd do a quick shop tour. Everybody's pretty much familiar with the Nova and what's going on with it. This is the old motor that's in it now. It's not that it's a bad motor. It's the motor it came with. It is a 350. Not sure if it's a 2 or 4 volt main. I would imagine a 2 volt main. The wiring along the back was eaten by mice, so that definitely made this car a lot of work. You'll see me figuring out how to rewire that and hide all those wires back behind the firewall. This is the Fairlane. The Fairlane is a car we got in Albuquerque. It was sitting in a garage for over 30 years. One of my IT guys, it was his great grandmother's car, his grandma's car, or his grandma's mom's car. I'll get it right. Right now she's got the paint and peel Duplicolor on it. That's more so to protect it, but my wife wanted it to look like a police car. It is in pristine condition, drives really nice. The only thing I've changed is the carb because it was bad. I've got some highway patrol magnetic stickers that go on there. On the back, there's some highway patrol. We put a whip antenna on a bumper mounted whip antenna on it to make it look realistic. Over here's kind of the area that I work in. It's one of the car stalls. This is a 4-car garage. As you can see, it's 1,000 square feet. She's heated and cooled. Heat this winter, I've had to supplement with the little one here, mainly because I like to keep it where I could take my heavy jacket off, and it's just been a very cold year. I do run a full-size compressor. I traded a Volkswagen Bug sold a Volkswagen Bug for the money to buy it. So that's that. I do have to plumb the garage for the compressor. I haven't done it yet. Over there's all the Duplicolor paint that I got from the paint shop to paint the Nova, along with a few other things like we did this wrap job with that. The Mustang was given to my mother by my father as a gift back in 83, 84. They bought it brand new. It's been in the family ever since. She's a little dusty right now because she's been sitting all winter. I haven't had the opportunity to get her outside. Excuse me. If we go over here to the back of the garage, I can bring you around so you can get a better view of the Fairlane and the Mustang. My workshop, kind of sort of project, all the projects going on and a bunch of garbage. But there's down the side of the Fairlane. As you can see by the odometer, those are real miles. Is it 40-something thousand, but like as you can tell by looking at the interior, the rubber mats, the pedals, that this is real mileage on this car. This is the factory paint that came with it, this tan color. She's got some scuffs on the outside. One of the reasons they had her stop driving was because she was backing into things. When we cleaned off the bumper, there were all kinds of dents all the way across, and then a real heavy hit right here in the corner. Someday I'll pull that out, but for right now, it's okay. It's original. She's still got the original plate inside the car. That's the plate I believe it came with. Nope, that's the new plate. But it may be. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been so long. But yeah, it's got the old Pinkerton on one side. It had the AAA sticker on the bumper. This is the Mustang. She's a 4-speed stick with the 4th gear as an overdrive. Factory rims have not been changed. The old 4 lugs, the Michelin tires, the metrics that are always fun to buy at $300 a piece. And then the rims that are very hard to get because everybody that had them threw them away. So that's kind of that one. Outside, we have the Pinto under the tarp. I've got the carburetor off of it to be rebuilt. I bought it up in Idaho for a couple $1,000 and threw her on a trailer and brought her back from Iowa, or not Idaho, sorry, I'll get that right. It is an Arizona car. There is no rust underneath it. However, the top, the paint on the body itself is definitely tweaked out, just sun-baked. Same with the interior, real crusty. I found new upholstery for the front seats, but not the back. I can get the carpet, I can get the headliner, but I'm going to have problems with the back seat. It's not as bad. I figure I'll just throw a cover on it if I have to, and that'll work. I've got the carburetor pulled from it and rebuilt. The gentleman I bought it from went through, changed the oil, went through and just did a basic maintenance on it like you do if you were starting a car that you just found in the woods. And from there, he just kind of decided to sell it. So I pretty much bought it. I paid a couple grand for it, which was, if you go out in the Pinto market, believe it or not, that's a good price for a running car. Drove it up onto the trailer, brought it home. The accelerator pump on the carb wasn't working, so I figured, well, it's probably not going to start enough for me to get it off the trailer. But I hit the key and it started right up. And my wife was so giddy about getting that car. That is her one of the first. Is the first car she's ever owned was a Pinto. She's always wanted one, and I'm glad I could find one to give to her. Not me so much. I'm a Vega guy, Chevy guy from the go, but I've got Fords, Chevys, and Chrysler, so I'm not partial, and I drive a Toyota to work. So there you go. But that kind of gives you an update on the shop. The motor that is in the Nova right now will be going in this old square body pickup truck out here. It is a, what do they call it, WT-1500, which is a work truck. I guess that's what it stands for, work truck. It has a 5-speed stick in it. It has a posi rear end in it, believe it or not. I got it at an auction for one of the city auction type things, a public surplus auction, I should say. I paid $300 for it, and it cost me about $100 to get it home. Bad motor, had a bad fuel pump, bad ignition system. I mean, the key was messed up. Replaced those two things and checked the motor, and the motor was just junk. So it's a V6, so it's coming out. What's nice about it being a V6 is this 350, old 350 and the Nova will bolt right in. I have to change it to a stick shift because the motor isn't automatic. So I'll have to order a flywheel, pressure plate, throwout bearing, all that kind of fun stuff, and then convert it from a 10-inch to an 11-inch 10-spline clutch, and that'll go into the truck with the 350. So I'll have a 350. It has a 5-speed in it, which will be neat. That'll give me a heck of a shot truck. It does have the towing package on it, so I can tow with it. With the 350 in there, I'll be able to throw a car trailer behind it and drag any of my cars anywhere I want to go. And that's kind of what I want to do. I might later, in the future, as I get through these projects, as I've got to finish the Nova up, and then I've got to finish her Pinto. Her Pinto will go priority after I get the engine into the Nova. Her Pinto will become a priority to be done next. Probably this summer I want to have it done, and I want to have it painted. Probably the interior done and all that kind of fun stuff. So real important I get that done, mainly because I want her to be able to drive it back and forth to work. So I need to make it reliable. Like I said, it does run. It doesn't smoke or anything. It runs pretty decent, and it appears that the gears all work, so there shouldn't be any issues with it. It's just been sitting for a very long time. So once I get the carb on it, I'll know whether or not I'm going to need to take it to the next level, which is putting a Holley 2-barrel on it. I've been paying attention to a YouTube guy who's got one of these little Pintos with a 2.3 in it, and he put the 2-barrel fuel injection from Holley on it. So I've been watching him. He gives kind of updates on how it's going with that system, but it might be something I look at in the future. Also, those 2.3 motors ran all the way through, oh geez, you can get the Ranger 4-cylinder. That's what they had in them, was this little 2.3. It's got a long history, so I'll be able to find really good parts for it. Let's see, aside from that, that's about it. I got to finish up the shed where we're going to put the Whirlpool in, because as you get older, you learn to really appreciate a Whirlpool. So that'll be done as soon as I get a couple of days without snow and rain, because I don't want to bring home a bunch of wood and have to cut it inside the garage or inside the shed, and I don't want it getting wet while it's sitting out there or on its way in. So that's kind of lets you know what's going on in the shop. Couple of things I've got. I've replaced all of the lighting with fluorescents that I bought once again at another auction. Though I did convert all of these fixtures to be LED bulbs. As you see, I've got some of the bulbs in, some of the bulbs not, mainly because you don't need them all at at this time. But we've also got television in here. Like I said, we got heat and air. I got 2 vents. I need to put in a couple more vents because the heater is big enough to heat the place. It's just with those 2 little tiny vents and a cold concrete floor, it doesn't work so well. That's why I have to do the little heater too. But like right now, it's up to 58 degrees. When I came in this morning, it was 54. The main issue with a garage is, the floors are all done and everything's all hunky-dory, but nobody put in heat. This would be a good garage to put heated floors in, I guess you'd say. But that's something in the future that's not happening right now. This garage is probably better than any garage I've ever owned, so it was one of the reasons we bought the house. Is this garage, and above it is a family room that's the same size as this garage. So you spin myself back around again. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on in my garage. And the next step in my process is I was going to pull the engine and trans out of the Nova in one piece, but now that I'm thinking about it with my little bit of space here, I am going to separate the trans and pull the engine first, put it on the stand and put it in the shed, and then pull the trans, put it on the engine stand, and go to work on it so I can fix all of its leaks. If I find a 200 R4, I'll swap it out. Well, I should say, if I find anything in a 4-speed, I'll probably swap it out. I am going with the Holley injection, sniper injection on the engine. It does have a module you can add for the transmission. So I'm not really sure which way I'm going with that yet. I'll figure I'll cross that road when I come to it. I do need to get the engine in, though, first. I need to get the cam broken in. I'll probably do that on the carburetor. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, more than likely I'll do it on the carburetor. It just makes it easy. I know how to break in an engine with a carburetor. I'm not sure how the fuel injection works, and I don't want to take a chance of messing up the camshaft because it is a hydraulic lifter cam. I was going to put a roller in it. Yeah, I had what I had. Y'all know if you're working on cars, you kind of got to do what you can afford, and what you have in your parts bin. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I bought enough new parts for this engine it's time to get it in there and get it get it in there and get it going and get the turbos mocked up and all that fun stuff done. I am not going to break it in with the turbos or anything on it. I'm just going to make some downturns for the headers, take it out into the driveway, fire it up, run it at 1,500 to 2,000 RPMs for about 20 minutes, going between those two, just following the break-in rules. And then I'll bring it back in and I'll finish doing things, I guess you'd say. But like I said, I've got a lot of projects that I'm working on at the same time. So we've definitely got to get them going and get them done. Utah's weather has not been happy. It seems like every other day it's snowing or raining and then snowing. It is now spring. We're into the middle of, I don't know, the last week of March is coming up, and we're already getting snow. Woke up this morning to like 2 or 3 inches of snow, might have been more. Snowed all the way to 11 o'clock this morning. Sun came out, and it starts to melt now, so it's going back to what it was. But it makes it hard to do anything in the shop because if you want to move things in and out, like I need to move the Mustang out and the Fairlane out so I can get my 300 in here and finish the back brakes. Because we did the front brakes right before the season, and then I had all the issues with the back, so that got put on hold. But we've got all the parts sitting here on my little work trolley, waiting to get done. And the only way I can do it, and the only way I will do it, for those who know, is I'm going to bring it in the garage where it's nice and toasty warm, and I don't have to worry about rain or anything of that nature. I worked out on the ground in the cold long enough. I just won't do it anymore. But that's kind of give you an update about the shop and everything else. I do have 2 shop dogs. This shop is completely alarmed, mainly because I don't trust anybody. There's alarms, there's cameras, there's the whole 9 yards, along with a 220-pound bull mastiff and a Rottweiler mix. So it's pretty well protected. But yeah, that kind of gives you an update on everything going on in the garage, or everything in the garage, I should say. I've got the header mufflers, or the header pipes, done now, mounted on the engine. As you can see, they're both on there nice and solid now, ready to go. I just have to start fabbing up exhaust and turbo type stuff. But like I said, I'm not doing that till it's in the car. Do me a big favor, everybody, like and subscribe. I need to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm gaining probably 1 subscriber a day. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button. If you have any ideas for any content you want to see, I get a lot of requests for repair work on people's cars. Like I said, I'm waiting till spring when it's warm. And I'll be happy to find somebody that needs it done, bring them in, and then we'll show them and you how to do it. I have no issues with that whatsoever. I think the best way we learn is by showing others. That's all I have for you now. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.